Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. Hope everybody's doing good out there and not getting too stressed out by the holiday season. I've gotten a couple of new subscribers recently, so I want to thank all the new people jumping on board who spend their time watching the videos. Today, I'm going to do something a little different. If you watch my channel before, you know that most of my records, about 90–95%, are records I've gotten at Goodwill, through Craigslist, where I go to people's houses, where I've dug in barns and garages and flea markets, etc., etc. Now and then I'll buy a new record, but not a lot until recently. So recently I've been buying some new records, and I thought I'd show some new records I've gotten. Most of these are new issues. Some are older issues that, or reissues that I picked up because I was sick of waiting around trying to find them in the wild. So the first one I got is I got this a couple months ago, and this is one of my favorite artists, is Ry Cooder, and this is his album Prodigal Son, which is just fantastic. There's Ry. Basically, he took a lot of old gospel songs and redid them. Produced by him and his son Joaquim, and it's fantastic. I love this record. It's just great, great, great. Nothing special with the label to show, but Prodigal Son, Ry Cooder. Absolutely great. Another one of my favorite musicians had an album out recently, and as soon as I saw it was out, I had to run out and buy it, and that was Richard Thompson. And this is 13 Rivers. Nice gatefold. The problem with this record and a lot of the new records, which you'll see, it's 2 records and there are 3 songs on a side. Why they have to put them on 2 records to do that, I have no idea. It's not like they're super long songs. It's not like it's, 30 minutes a side or something. So you keep jumping up to change the record, which sort of is annoying, but great record. And Richard Thompson is the man. He's amazing guitar player, great songwriter, and I also love his singing, so there you go. Richard Thompson, 13 Rivers. Trying to get rid of that glare. That's a little better over here, yeah. Then I went to Record Store Day. I didn't get a lot at Record Store Day. Actually, I wasn't around locally. I was visiting relatives, so I waited till Monday morning. And when I got back home, I went over to my local music record store, Bull Moose Music, and I was looking for 4 records. I got 3 of the 4, so I was quite happy with that. The first one I got was this Dexter Gordon. Ooh, a lot of glare on that one. Dexter Gordon, and this is live at the Playboy Jazz Festival, and it's great. 1979, I think it is, recorded. Beautiful packaging. I mean, they really did a gorgeous job on packaging this. As you can see, the super slick cover. There's the back. And he's with Dexter Gordon on tenor sax, obviously, and Woody Shaw on trumpet, Milt Jackson on vibes, Kirk Lightly on piano, Dave Eubanks on bass, Eddie Gladden on drums, and O.C. Smith sings on one song, The Blues. And it is everything I would want it to be. Beautiful, great recording, and if you're a jazz hound, I love Dexter. I love his tone, so Dexter Gordon. Also picked up, and this was strictly on a recommendation because I saw this on a couple of websites about Black Friday. I knew nothing about it. It's called Feelin' All Right Saturday Night, the Rick and Ron Anthology. And I knew nothing about it, but it turns out, I did a little work. Rick and Ron was the Rick and Ron labels occupy a unique place in the history of New Orleans rhythm and blues, operating for only 4 years, between 1958 and 62. So 4 years, they put out a bunch of singles, and this is a compilation of all their singles. Great New Orleans rhythm and blues, early rock and roll, but with that New Orleans flair. People like Professor Longhair. The only other one I think I really knew was, where the heck is it now? Can't find it right now. But anyway, a great, great record. 2 record set. Oh, Irma Thomas is on here too. This is a 2 record set, but this is a true 2-record set. In other words, you have, what, 2, 4, 6, 7 songs on a side, all singles, and just fantastic. Love that New Orleans stuff, and great package, and happy to pick that up, real happy. The other one I got was an album by Muddy Waters with Johnny Winter. I guess the first one they did was Hard Again, and then they went on tour. And this was never released on LP when it was they were first touring. It's called Breaking It Up, Breaking It Down. Muddy Waters, Johnny Winter, and James Cotton. 1977, they released their triumphant comeback, Hard Again, the first collaboration. And in support of the Grammy Award-winning album, a concert tour was launched in March of '77. And this is from that tour. What I didn't know when I bought it is that it's on this very cool orange see-through label, vinyl. So that was sort of cool. Didn't expect to see that, and I don't really care one way or the other, but it's pretty cool looking. And this album, besides Johnny Winter, Muddy Waters, and James Cotton, also has Pinetop Perkins, Bob Margolin, and Willie Big Eye Smith. So, and this is all live stuff. Quality varies, but still mostly really good. And recorded in, let's see, Pennsylvania and the Palladium in New York City and in Detroit. So, really like this one. Muddy Waters, Johnny Winter, and James Cotton. Breaking it up, breaking it down. So, nice score from Record Store Day. This one, it was that I was in New York City that same weekend and wasn't going to buy anything, but we went to a big bookshop called Strand Books on, I think, 13th Street, 12th Street downtown. And my wife was looking for books, and we were just hanging out, and all of a sudden I see they have a big rack of records. So I go over, start going through them, and I said, oh, I've been looking for this record for like forever, and I can't find one in the wild. So I got a brand new re-release of Tom Waits' Closing Time. And beautiful packaging, 180-gram vinyl. Has all, Old 55, Hope I Don't Fall in Love with You, Old Shoes, Martha, one of my favorite songs, Ice Cream Man. Just great, great. His first album. And a great, great record. May this be the screenshot. There you go. Okay. Tom Waits, Closing Time. Everybody knows that. And then I picked up this one. It's a Bob Dylan album. This was a couple of months ago. This is originally recorded in Brandeis University in Massachusetts in May 10th, 1963. So it's really the beginning of his career. And what's not great is that these are the first time a lot of people ever heard any of these songs. This is Bob Dylan in concert, 1963, in Brandeis University. He does Honey, Just Let Me One More Chance, Ballad of Hollis Brown, Masters of War, Bob Dylan's Dream, and some other songs. And the tapes are amazingly good. I didn't think they'd be good at all, but it really sounds incredibly good. And that's all. It basically says the tapes were made, and they went to Ralph Gleason, who was one of the producers' house, and sat in his house for 46 years. No one knew about the tapes. They just sort of sat there. And finally, they were going through his house after he passed away, I think. And there it is. Tonight, Dylan, we have a new LP from 50 years ago. So that's pretty cool. And the next one I got, also Dylan, one of my favorite albums of all time, is Blood on the Tracks. And they recently released More Blood, More Tracks. And from what I read, originally he recorded this in New York and didn't particularly like, he wasn't happy with the way things worked out. So they basically went and re-recorded the whole album about 3-4 months later, which is the album everybody knows. This is the original album he recorded, basically solo, him, guitar, harmonica, and now and then there's a bass player. And that's it. And all the songs we know, but all recorded before the album you know. And just beautiful. It's just, I love it. Tangled Up in Blue, Simple Twist of Fate, Shelter from the Storm. Again, 2 albums, 3 songs on a side. I don't know why they do that. The only thing that sort of was interesting to me, I don't know why they did it, is that they didn't put it in the same order as the album, as the original Blood on the Tracks album. And it's not done chronologically. These weren't recorded. They did the first recordings and the last recordings. I just don't know why they switched up everything. The only song I think that doesn't really work as well is Lily Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts. The one on the album is fantastic, and this one is okay, but not great. And they have 1 or 2 more songs that weren't on the original album, so that's pretty cool. But I really enjoyed this a lot. Bob Dylan, More Blood, More Tracks. And the last album is an album I got just the other day, which is also another 50th anniversary. That's the big thing now, is the 50th anniversary being 1967, 68, 69. There were a lot of great albums came out. So they're bringing out, as you know, the Beatles' White Album just came out, 50th anniversary. So this is the 50th anniversary of Big Brother and the Holding Company's Cheap Thrills. Originally supposed to be called Sex, Dope, and Cheap Thrills. But the studio was not happy with that title, so they wouldn't let him use it, and they made him call it just Cheap Thrills. And this is all outtakes and other takes from the album. So it's, again, 2-record set. They have a combination of the 2. It's a demo. I Need a Man to Love Me, take 3. Summertime, take 2. Piece of My Heart, take 6, etc., etc. Also, other songs that didn't make it to the album but were released later on, and some were never released. So some of these are new releases. Janis Joplin, Big Brother and the Holding Company. Love Janis, always loved Janis. Like I say, I'm old enough, I'm lucky enough, I got to see her 3 times. Quick story, I'm in college, I think it was 2nd year college, so it was November 68, and Janis and Big Brother and the Holding Company were playing in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was in college in Athens, Ohio, which is about a couple hours away. And back in the 60s, there was a TV show called the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. And they were sort of like, they were folkies who sang funny songs, and they had skits on the show, and they were very political, and they were great. Everybody watched them. And back then in college, nobody had TVs. So there were no TV in the dorm. We all had to go down to the student union. And every Sunday night, we'd all go to the student union and watch the Smothers Brothers. So we hear one week that the Beatles were going to be live on the Smothers Brothers show. Now, back in 68 and 67, you didn't get to see the Beatles. You didn't have MTV. You didn't have, YouTube, obviously. So you couldn't see these bands very often live. And the fact that they were going to be live on TV was a big deal. It happened to be the same night that we had tickets to go see Big Brother and the Holding Company, Sunday night. So we drove out to the concert, and the concert starts. I can't remember if there was an opening act or not, but Janis and the band are playing, and it's great. And about halfway through the show, Janis stops. She goes, "I can't miss this." And they wheel out onto the stage a TV on a big stand, and they hooked the TV up to the sound system. And the whole band, the guy got off the drums, the whole band got down, sat on the floor. They turned the TV on, and the band, Big Brother, and the whole audience watched the Beatles perform on Smothers Brothers show. When they finished off, they wheeled the TV off. Janis stood up, and she said something like, "Wow, I couldn't miss that." And then they continued with the concert. So I basically got to sit around with Big Brother and the Holding Company and watch the Beatles. That was sort of fun. Also saw her at Newport Folk Festival that summer of 68, and then saw her again at Woodstock. So I got to see Janis a number of times, which was great. Great talent. And what was the comment she said once? "I make love to 30,000 people a night and go home alone." And that's the story of her life pretty much. But a great album, and good to hear different takes of the songs that we all know so well. So that's Janis Joplin, Big Brother and the Holding Company. Sex, Dope, and Cheap Thrills. All right, so that's it for my new albums. Hope you all enjoyed it. Keep digging out there. Hope everybody has a great holiday season. And until next time, Peace.